to explain what is going on, Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons. Director Lyons, we're very happy to have you with us here. So many questions, not just, of course, by us in the media, but also from Americans around the country. What can you tell us that perhaps people are not aware of, where they're missing the point? What is maybe the biggest fallacy about what's happening here with these protests?
Hey, well, thanks. I appreciate you guys having me on. I think the real big thing the takeaway that I think the American public really needs to know is, and as you're playing it right now, these protests weren't peaceful. This wasn't about individuals exercising their First Amendment right or exercising their statements about the immigration movement. What you saw was pure anarchy and lawlessness. And what I can tell you is being on the ground here in Los Angeles and actually seeing it firsthand and watching my officers and agents get assaulted from Friday night all the way through until LAPD got control of the city. It's been a real violent situation. And this all stems from ICE doing its dual law enforcement duty, serving a criminal immigration warrant. So we were actually serving a federal criminal warrant that sparked these arrests. So it wasn't ICE, doing a raid per se or indiscriminately going around and snatching people off of corners. It was an actual federal law enforcement criminal warrant signed by a judge that we were executing that led to this. And you can just see how quickly this spiraled out of control. And this just shows that sanctuary policies around the country just do not work. When local law enforcement isn't allowed to work with another federal law enforcement agency.
Yeah, Todd, let me ask you, you've said that politicians are putting your agents' lives in danger. We've heard some of the rhetoric coming out from Democrats on the other side. Expand on that for me.
No, and I think that's a real key thing that everyone needs to know is, when you have elected officials calling for interference with ICE agents or officers or any one of our other law enforcement partners that are working with us to interfere with them, to obstruct them, to cause chaos at an arrest scene, right? Or to dox them, put their identities out, put their families' identities out, or if they spot an ICE operation going on in their neighborhood, or let's just say even any law enforcement official, it might not even be ICE. They might just see a law enforcement presence and they're putting that on social media and a call to arms and a call to action to respond. That's led by elected officials. And that's just not right. It's not right for elected officials, whether you are pro-immigration or anti-immigration, to get this fiery rhetoric that puts law enforcement in danger. And it not only does it endanger my officers and agents and every person in uniform, but even the community that we're out there. Because these sanctuary policies, these sanctuary jurisdictions won't work with us, we have to go into the community. And I think after the first night, when we actually listed the list of individuals that we arrested, when you have known suspected terrorists, gang members, drug dealers, and yet people still want to advocate to allow these individuals to stay in our community and stay in the country, the political rhetoric just puts none of us at ease, and it puts none of us, it makes none of us safe. I mean, you would not expect this from elected officials.
Yeah, you would think that you would be viewed by everyone, regardless of party politics, as I'll say, the good guys trying to protect Americans. And in so many circles, as you said, with political rhetoric, you're often viewed as the bad guys. To that point, I want to get your response to what Gavin Newsom said to the Wall Street Journal about his cooperation with your team, with ICE. He said, "I've coordinated and collaborated with ICE for 6 years. I have transferred over 10,500 individuals into ICE custody over the objections of my legislature. But when people are lawfully playing by the rules and coming for court hearings and you're deporting them, that crosses a line." What are the potential holes in that statement that you hear?
Well, I think one of the things is the fact that a lot of these individuals that are being arrested at court, which a lot of other media outlets and mainstream media aren't reporting, is the fact that they have actual executable final orders of removal or deportation that have been issued by an actual Department of Justice judge. So oftentimes we hear the fact that people are being snatched off the street without due process. They're leaving out a lot of key things to this. And they're also leaving out a lot of the fact that a lot of the people that are currently in immigration proceedings were let in under the past 4 years with not the right entry mechanisms, meaning that when they show up to court now, they are no longer here legally, or their protective status is no longer valid, which means that ICE has to take an action. And that's one of the things we're getting away from. President Trump's ended catch and release, and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, both agents and officers, are now allowed to do their sworn law enforcement mission. And like any other local police department, state trooper, we can't walk away from someone that's committing a crime. If your status is no longer valid, if your visa is no longer valid, it's been revoked, or a judge has lawfully ordered you deported from the United States, we are not just going to walk away from you and give you a second bite at the apple. We're going to take action, and we're going to go ahead. You have already had your due process rights. If you haven't, you will go in front of a judge again and have your chance to appeal it. But we're not going to walk away from an immigration violation anymore.
Well, that's great to hear. And Todd, we appreciate the work you're doing, and all your men and women are doing just as well. And we wish you all the best. I know it's certainly not safe from the scenes we've seen out there in Los Angeles and probably other cities across the country coming soon. So keep it up. We appreciate you coming on. Todd Lyons, thank you.